The series begins with our heroine, Myung Se-na, who is a famous lawyer, and when she wakes up, she immediately heads to her job. She works as one of the attorneys at the Cheonan law firm. When Se-na arrives at court, she is suddenly met by a large number of journalists who try to interview her because she has just won an important case involving a young man who was accused of blackmail. After speaking to the reporters, she goes inside to her office, where her co-workers are waiting for her. They surprise her with sweets and applaud enthusiastically to celebrate the victory she achieved in the case she was handling. However, Se-na tells them that she cannot celebrate with them because she already has a schedule and that it is time for her to leave the office to attend to another important matter. As soon as Myung Se-na leaves the office, she gets into her car and rushes straight home. Her real reason for leaving work early is revealed. She wants to watch a live stream by her favorite idol, the famous Do Laik. It becomes clear that Se-na left work solely for this reason. She is a huge supporter of Laik. Her entire room is decorated with his pictures, she constantly listens to his songs, and she is deeply and obsessively in love with him. While she is watching Laik on her computer, her friend comes over, bringing sweets and drinks to celebrate Se-na's courtroom victory. But Se-na tells her friend that Do Laik is far more important than all of that. She excitedly pulls out Laik's photos, praises him endlessly, and openly tells her friend how much she loves Do Laik. On the other side, we are introduced to the great idol Do Laik himself. One day, during a public event, one of his fans suddenly jumps toward him and tears his clothes. Angrily, Laik confronts his manager and asks why his security was not tightened. We then learn that Laik is unhappy with his life as a celebrity and idol. He cannot do whatever he wants, and he is constantly forced to please his fans, always showing only his perfect, beautiful side. Meanwhile, Myung Se-na is working on another court case. While the case is being discussed, she requests the presiding judge to postpone the trial so the defendant can file an appeal. Immediately after that, she rushes out of the courtroom, quickly changes her clothes, and calls her friend to pick her up on his motorcycle and take her to the venue where Do Laik's fan meeting is being held. At the same time, Do Laik arrives at the fan meeting venue. He meets several fans and gives them his autograph. Suddenly, however, he comes face to face with a female fan who is extremely obsessed with him, someone who constantly calls his phone. She starts screaming at him, demanding to know why he changed his phone number, and she violently slams the table covered with items in front of her. Security quickly rushes in and escorts the unstable fan out of the venue. After this incident, Laik goes into shock and locks himself inside the bathroom. Meanwhile, Se-na finally arrives at the fan meeting venue, but unfortunately, she is late. The event has already ended. Overcome with disappointment, she begins to cry. Do Laik returns home and starts drinking alcohol, feeling deeply distressed. Suddenly, he notices two female fans who have secretly sneaked into his bedroom. Alarmed, he immediately calls security, and they are taken away. When morning arrives, Do Laik is still asleep when he is suddenly awakened by water being splashed directly onto his face. The person doing this is his manager, the man who has been controlling him since Laik was only 10 years old and who still makes every decision in his life. The manager immediately tells him that he has a concert and orders him to get ready as fast as possible. Meanwhile, Myung Se-na tries to buy a ticket for Laik's concert, but all the tickets are already sold out. Desperate, she contacts people who resell tickets illegally and reaches an agreement with one of them to buy a ticket for a very high price. She pays half of the money in advance and agrees to give him the remaining amount once she arrives at the venue. As the concert time approaches, Laik leaves his house wearing a face mask and heads toward the concert location. When he arrives, he notices several female fans who immediately recognize him and start chasing after him. On the other side, Se-na meets the man who was supposed to sell her the ticket illegally. However, she backs out of the deal and secretly records a video of him, exposing the fact that he is selling tickets illegally. The man tries to run away, but Se-na and her friend chase after him. While chasing the man, Se-na suddenly sees someone walking ahead and mistakes him for the ticket seller. She rushes toward him, but when she turns him around, she realizes it is actually Do Laik himself. Se-na is shocked and about to scream, but Laik quickly covers her mouth and tells her not to shout and not to chase him since she is one of his fans. He also warns her to stop following him. After saying that, he leaves her behind and walks away. Later, when Laik enters the backstage area to prepare for the concert, he overhears his co-workers, members of the group Gold Boys, mocking and insulting him. They accuse him of using drugs and criticize him for arriving late to a concert that was meant to be his special stage. He exchanges harsh words with one of the members, Jae-hee, and the argument quickly escalates into a physical fight. Other members of the team try to separate them, but during the chaos, another member named Woo Seong is struck by a falling object and gets seriously injured. He is immediately rushed to the hospital. Meanwhile, Sena returns home extremely happy because her dream has come true. She finally met her idol, Do La-ik. She turns on her computer, only to discover shocking news spreading across social media. Reports claim that the Gold Boys members fought each other, and rumors paint La-ik as someone who hates his teammates and even physically attacked them. That night, Woo Seong, one of the Gold Boys members, visits La-ik. The two sit together, talk about the problems within the group, and drink alcohol. Eventually, La-ik falls asleep. When morning comes and La-ik wakes up, he is horrified to find Woo Seong's lifeless body lying on the floor. Woo Seong has been stabbed in the stomach. At the same time, Sena wakes up and prepares to go to work. She opens social media and is shocked to see the news spreading everywhere. Reports claim that Do La-ik killed his friend. Sena immediately rushes to the police station and finds La-ik inside the interrogation room. Shaken and confused, La-ik says, "Woo Seong wasn't dead last night. We were drinking together." Sena then tells him the terrible truth. Woo Seong has been murdered in his own home, and La-ik is now the main suspect. She asks him if there is anyone he suspects might be behind the crime. La-ik tells her that he suspects some of his obsessive female fans, unstable fans who have tried several times to disturb him and have even broken into his home secretly. Deeply unsettled, Sena leaves the station, still thinking about La-ik's words. Suddenly, she collapses to the ground as memories from her childhood flood back. Memories of when her own father was once accused of murder and the emotional pain she suffered at that time. As she stands there, frozen in grief, Do La-ik suddenly appears beside her. He begins to sing to her softly, then hands her a small phone and a pair of earphones containing recordings of his songs. He tells her to listen to them whenever she feels sad or overwhelmed. From that day on, Sena starts listening to his songs every single day. Sometime later, one day, she sees Do La-ik and the Gold Boys appear on a concert stage together for the first time. She feels incredibly happy and cheers them on with all her heart. From that moment onward, she becomes one of Do La-ik's biggest and most devoted supporters. Meanwhile, La-ik is taken into the criminal investigation room. Lawyers and investigators arrive and immediately begin pressuring him, trying to pin the crime on him and portray him as the murderer. They repeatedly urge him to confess, but La-ik firmly refuses. After that, they inform him that an arrest warrant has already been submitted to the judge. Soon after, Sena is informed that everything behind this case is being driven by Kwak Byung-gyun, the son of the powerful prosecutor Kwak Jong-chul. Kwak Byung-gyun wants to take over this case so he can gain fame and build his reputation by winning it. Sena is also told that all other lawyers have refused to defend Do La-ik. At that moment, Sena makes a firm decision. She will become Do La-ik's lawyer. Meanwhile, Do La-ik's manager receives a phone call from a man who sends him photos of a woman and tells him that she is suspicious because she was present on the night La-ik met with his fans. Shortly after, Sena meets La-ik and begins questioning him seriously. She warns him that if he does not answer her honestly and accurately, he could end up spending the rest of his life in prison. Sena then begins a thorough investigation of the case to prove La-ik's innocence and keep him out of jail. She goes to La-ik's house and carefully examines the crime scene, the timing of the incident, and the fact that heavy rain was falling on the night the murder occurred. While investigating the house, she unexpectedly runs into Kwak Byung-gyun, who is also examining the scene. He tries to convince her that La-ik is the real culprit and claims that La-ik was the only person present at the time of the crime. However, Sena suddenly notices a scar on Kwak Byung-gyun's neck and instantly realizes that he is the same lawyer who once falsely accused her own father of murder. Elsewhere, Sena and her friend manage to track down the two female fans who had illegally broken into La-ik's home. They begin interrogating them. The girls explain in detail how they entered the house, how they avoided security and surveillance cameras, and how they obtained the password to Do La-ik's room. They try to justify their actions by claiming that everything they did was driven only by love and devotion to La-ik. Before the court hearing begins, Sena carefully instructs Laik on exactly how he should answer every question he will be asked. When the trial starts, Sena tells the prosecutor that there are obsessive fans who secretly enter Laik's home and that such individuals could easily be involved in the crime. Meanwhile, lawyer Kwok tries to steer the case in a way that frames Laik as the murderer. Despite this, Sena does everything in her power to defend Laik. She formally requests that Laik be released from custody until the real culprit is identified and solid evidence is found. After leaving the courtroom, Sena tells Laik that he is allowed to return home for now until clear proof emerges. Laik, Sena, and her friend leave together. While on the road, Laik suddenly gets out of the car, sits down on the street, and falls into painful memories of his deceased friend. Overwhelmed by grief, he begins drinking alcohol again. Seeing his condition, Sena gently helps him back up, brings him with her, and takes him to her own home. Sena and her friend realize that Do Laik is not at home. They call around and are told that he is currently at the police station. They rush there immediately and find Laik lying weakly on a bench inside the station. The police inform Sena that they picked him up from the street but were unable to determine his home address. They ask Sena to take responsibility for him. Sena and her friend take Laik with them to their home. While they are on the way, Sena's friend warns her seriously, saying, "You trust people too easily. What if this man suddenly attacks you, or even kills you?" But Sena insists on taking Laik to her house anyway. They lay him down on the bed in Sena's room. Even then, her friend continues to warn her not to trust a man who is accused of murder. Sena tries to reassure her friend, saying that Laik is her client, that she is determined to defend him, and that she truly does not believe he committed the crime he is accused of. Later, Sena enters her room alone. She still cannot believe that Laik is actually sleeping on her bed. She notices a sticker with his name on it and quickly removes it so he will not realize how deeply she has supported him as a fan. Slowly and carefully, she approaches him and hesitantly tries to touch his hand. When morning comes, Laik wakes up and sees Sena in the kitchen. She asks him how he is feeling, but at that moment she is holding a knife she is using to cut vegetables. Laik panics, thinking she is about to kill him, and becomes terrified. Sena quickly tries to calm him down and explains that she found him scared and helpless at the police station and brought him to her home to protect him. Laik attempts to run away, but Sena shows him the court documents she prepared, warning him that if he tries to escape, she will be forced to report it. However, Laik ignores her words completely and walks out anyway. Meanwhile, lawyer Kwok and his team continue their intense investigation into Woo Seong's murder. They analyze how the knife was used and examine every detail of the crime scene, but they are unable to find solid evidence. This is partly because heavy rain fell on the night of the murder, washing away potential clues. At the same time, fans of the Gold Boys remain furious and demand justice. Sena later goes to the Gold Boys agency and meets the group's manager. She introduces herself as Laik's lawyer. As she speaks to him, she recalls that he is a harsh and aggressive man who often used to shout at the group's fans. Sena suggests that there may have been a third person present on the night of the murder, specifically the housekeeper, who knew the door access code. However, the manager immediately dismisses the idea, insisting that the housekeeper is a good person and has nothing to do with the crime. While they are still talking, Sena receives a call and is led to meet the CEO of the company, a man named Bo-sung. He is a cruel businessman who has made enormous profits from the Gold Boys and never allows the members even time to rest. Sena asks him whether the company is planning to cancel Laik's contract. The CEO responds that it is only market rumors for now and that nothing has been officially decided yet. Sena then asks whether there had ever been a conflict between Woo Seong and Laik. The CEO replies that there was no prior dispute between them and that everything had seemed normal. While they are speaking, Jae-hee and Bin, members of the Gold Boys, enter the room. Sena asks them about their relationship with Laik. Jae-hee becomes extremely angry at her repeated questions and snaps, saying that he has heard she defends criminals. Sena calmly continues her questioning, but Jae-hee, clearly furious, shouts that their friend is dead and that the crazy man Laik killed him. He adds that Laik even fought with him on the night before the event. At that moment, Sena recalls the rumors that spread online about fights within the Gold Boys. Jae-hee then shows her a video of La-ik fighting with his friend. Sena is shocked by what she sees and immediately leaves. Later, La-ik confronts the CEO and demands to know why his contract has been cancelled. The CEO coldly asks him to explain how Woo Seong died. La-ik replies that even if he tells the truth, the CEO would not believe him. He accuses the CEO of caring only about money. After a brief argument, La-ik is informed that his mother had taken a large amount of money from the company under the excuse of interviews and investments. In the end, the CEO tells La-ik bluntly that there is nothing he can do for him anymore. Meanwhile, Sena meets with La-ik's mother and asks her to stop giving so many interviews to the media. However, La-ik's mother only sees money. She coldly says that her son might actually be a criminal. Sena begs her not to look at everything through money alone, reminding her that La-ik has not yet been proven guilty and that the investigation is still ongoing. Unfortunately, his mother refuses to listen. Money is the only thing that matters to her. Furious and deeply disappointed, Sena leaves. Later, as La-ik is walking across a bridge, 3 young men notice his expensive shoes. They attack him violently. La-ik tries to defend himself, but he has no strength left. The attackers beat him badly and steal his shoes before running away. While searching for La-ik, Sena suddenly spots the same boys wearing his shoes. She asks them where they got them from, but they only laugh mockingly. At that moment, her friend arrives, and the boys start beating him as well. Sena manages to grab the shoes and runs away. She soon finds La-ik sitting on the ground. He tells her that his head is filled with countless voices and that he can never find peace. Sena gently tries to calm him and reassures him that she will always stand by his side. Elsewhere, lawyer Kwak and his father continue discussing the murder case of Woo Seong. Kwak's father warns him that Sena is a dangerous opponent and reminds him that she once attended the same school as Kwak. Suddenly, Kwak remembers a girl he used to bully during his school days, a girl named Sena. He starts to wonder if she is the same person. Meanwhile, La-ik opens his heart to Sena and tells her everything, how his mother always chose money over him, how she constantly exploited his talent, how the CEO of the Gold Boys agency worked closely with her, and how close he was to Woo Seong. They were always happy together until the CEO deliberately separated them. La-ik explains that all the pressure was placed on him alone simply because he had a beautiful voice. Sena then shows La-ik a video of him fighting with his friend, but La-ik insists that it was nothing more than joking and playful roughhousing. Elsewhere, Kwak is having dinner with a woman his friend introduced to him. He appears arrogant and socially awkward, clearly not good at dating. The woman tells him that she knows the case is difficult, but wishes him success. Kwak responds arrogantly, saying that he has plenty of experience and that there is nothing to worry about. Later, Sena convinces La-ik to attend Woo Seong's funeral. She tells him that if he does not go, everyone will believe that he killed his friend and misunderstand him completely. La-ik finally agrees. As they leave, Sena warns him not to give interviews and not to show too much emotion. La-ik enters the church and quietly says goodbye to his friend Woo Seong, his face filled with deep sorrow. When he comes outside, he is surrounded by reporters. He tells them that he hopes the real criminal will be caught soon and that he is deeply saddened by his friend's death. After that, they go to Kwak's office, where La-ik is shown CCTV footage from the night of the murder. The video shows La-ik entering a store but leaving without buying anything. Shocked, La-ik explains that the store did not have the alcohol he wanted, so he left without purchasing anything. Kwak continues to bombard him with questions, but La-ik falls silent whenever he does not know how to answer. Sena immediately intervenes, accusing Kwak of presenting meaningless assumptions that do not count as real evidence. A heated argument follows. Kwak asks La-ik where he went afterward that night. Enraged, La-ik storms out of the office. Outside, Sena angrily confronts La-ik, asking why he hid the fact that he went to the store that night. She tells him that he must tell her everything if she is to defend him properly. La-ik insists that he hid nothing. He went to the store, found nothing he wanted, and left. Still upset, Sena tells him that even his dreams matter and that he should not hide anything from her. As they continue arguing, Sena becomes so emotional that she tries to walk away, but Laik suddenly saves her from an accident. At that moment, a woman appears, calling Laik's name. She runs toward him and hugs him tightly. This woman is an extremely obsessed fan, someone who even met Laik on the very night the murder occurred. At the same time, Sena suddenly remembers the woman's face. The woman is rumored to have been in a relationship with Laik, although Laik has repeatedly stated that they are nothing more than ordinary friends. Sena notices that someone nearby is secretly taking photos of them, so she quickly tells Laik that they should leave the area. They walk away together. As Sena stands beside the car, her friend approaches her. He says that earlier he saw Laik standing with another woman and asks Sena about it. She replies that the woman is the same one people have been gossiping about, claiming she had a relationship with Laik. Her friend is shocked and asks her how she could allow the man she has loved for years, the man who caused her to lose sleep and even lose her appetite, to talk to other women. Sena answers calmly that it is normal, that she is only his lawyer, and that she must focus on doing her job. Still, it is clear that Sena's heart is broken. Meanwhile, Laik asks the woman why she came there. She tells him that she simply missed his face. He immediately tells her to stay away from him and not to try to get close, then starts to walk away. At that moment, she suddenly tells him that she saw Jae-hee on the night of the murder and that he was near the house. Everyone believes Jae-hee was at the hospital that night, but according to her, he was not. Laik is shocked and leaves immediately. Afterward, Sena asks Laik directly, "Answer my question. After you left the store that night, did you go to Hyeju?" Laik is startled and asks how she knows her name. An argument breaks out. Sena reminds him that she told him never to hide anything from her again. She says that if he keeps hiding the truth, it will become impossible for her to defend him. Laik responds angrily, saying that Hyeju has nothing to do with the case and that Sena should not drag her into it. They continue shouting at each other. Sena warns him that if Kwak finds out about Laik's meeting with this woman, it will give Kwak a huge advantage. Still, Laik strongly refuses to involve Hyeju in the case and insists that he will explain everything himself. He tells Sena to just take the woman back to her neighborhood. Meanwhile, Kwak learns that Laik met a woman on the night of the murder and begins trying to uncover more details. On another front, Laik goes to the team members and asks whether Jae-hee was really at the hospital that night. They all insist that they were at the hospital together. However, Laik remains suspicious. The team members accuse Laik directly, saying that he is the one who killed their friend. Enraged, Laik starts fighting with them and is thrown outside. The manager confronts him, asking how things have reached this point. Laik demands to know whether the team was truly at the hospital that night. After a long argument, Laik leaves. Elsewhere, Sena sits alone in her office, still thinking about Laik and the woman rumored to be involved with him. It is clear that Sena is jealous and emotionally conflicted, unsure what she should do. Later, Laik calls Sena and asks whether she took Hyeju back to her neighborhood. Sena says yes. Laik then asks if the new rumors spreading online about him and Hyeju being in a relationship can be removed. Sena reassures him that she will look for a solution. Laik ends the call. After that, Laik confronts the reporter who started the rumor claiming that Laik and Hyeju are dating. He demands that the article be taken down. The reporter refuses, saying that stories like this bring him money and attention. He also tells Laik that Hyeju works with a secret group. Hearing this, Laik becomes furious and threatens him, saying, "You have no right to talk about someone close to me. If you do, I'll ruin your life." As they begin fighting, Sena arrives and tries to stop them. She argues briefly with the reporter and warns him that if he continues violating Laik's private life, she will sue him. She then leaves with Laik. Outside, Sena yells at Laik, asking why he went to the reporter at all, because that could lead to even more false rumors. She tells him that she feels he is still hiding something from her, and that if he does not tell her the truth, defending him will become extremely difficult. This time, Laik finally opens up. He tells Sena everything that happened between him and Hyeju, how they met that night, how the meeting was her idea, the argument they had inside the car, and how they eventually parted ways that same night. He apologizes for hiding it from her. Sena tells him she understands. He only wanted to protect Hyeju and keep her out of the case. Laik admits that this is exactly what he wants and asks Sena if she can help ensure that Hyeju is not dragged into his case. Sena agrees. At the same time, we see lawyer Kwak interviewing Hyeju. He asks why she met Laik that night after not seeing him for years. Hyaju calmly replies that they are simply friends who missed each other. Kwok then threatens her, saying that if she does not tell him the truth, he will turn her into a criminal. Hyaju fires back, reminding him of the dinner they once shared and how he openly planned to frame Laik as a murderer. She tells him to investigate the CEO of the Gold Boys instead. Finally, she reveals that she saw Jae-hee at the crime scene that night. Meanwhile, Sena suddenly walks into the room and finds Laik changing his clothes. Both of them are startled and freeze in shock. After a moment, Sena breaks the silence and says that he asked her to help with the matter involving Hyaju and that she is doing her best to help, even though there is not much she can do. Laik is visibly relieved and happy. He tells her that he, too, is trying not to hide anything anymore. He then adds that Hyaju saw Jae-hee at the location on the night of the murder. He clarifies that he is not accusing Jae-hee of being the killer, but he wants Sena to know that he is not hiding information from her. After that, Sena leaves. She goes straight to her office and tells her friend that Hyaju saw Jae-hee at the scene that night and that he was not actually at the hospital. She also asks her friend to investigate the CEO of the group as well. Her friend responds that they are still trying to solve the issue between Laik and his friend and that bringing in another angle might complicate things. Sena then tells her friend that she feels sick. He offers to get her medicine, but she explains that her illness is emotional. She is suffering because of her love for Laik. She admits that she does not know what to do anymore. She says that Laik is living in her house, yet emotionally she feels that he is very far away from her. She also says that Laik himself is heartbroken and going through a very difficult time. Her friend gently comforts her, telling her that everything will eventually turn out fine. He also advises her that it would not be good if other people found out about what is going on between her and Laik. Still, Sena continues talking about the deep, overwhelming love she feels for him. Later, Sena returns home and sees Laik lying on the couch. She just stands there watching him, unable to figure out how to confess her feelings. Overcome with sadness, she quietly cries, sinking deeper into her pain. When morning comes, Laik comes out to have breakfast and notices a note Sena left for him, telling him to eat well. Shortly after, Sena's friend arrives and brings items that Sena asked him to deliver. He tries to explain what Sena meant through these things, but unfortunately Laik says he already has everything and casually takes the items anyway. Then Laik asks Sena's friend, "What is your relationship with Sena?" Her friend replies that they are just friends. Laik leaves, but suspicion lingers in his mind about the friendship between Sena and her friend. The next day arrives. Sena is talking to her director on the phone when Laik comes in. She tells him that everything is ready and that they are going to meet Kwok. During the meeting, Sena explains why they came and says she has evidence that could help the investigation. She hands over a flash drive and tells Kwok that Laik and Hyaju have nothing to do with the murder. Kwok responds that he already received that evidence earlier. He adds that he is now looking at the case from a completely different angle. Laik then speaks up, saying that he and Hyaju only talked about personal matters that concerned them and that they had nothing to do with the murder. Kwok, however, refuses to believe him. Sena then hands over her phone, which contains multiple pieces of evidence, including call records between the CEO of the group and Jae-hee. She argues that if Laik and his friend were guilty, there would be evidence such as the weapon used or phone calls coordinating the crime, but none of that exists. She also adds that Woo Seong met Laik and Hyaju after their meeting, which further proves they had nothing to do with the murder. Still, Kwok strongly opposes her argument, suggesting that they could have met to plan the murder. The debate becomes intense. Eventually, Sena and Laik leave. As they walk away, Laik says that the issue involving Jae-hee is still not over. Sena reassures him, telling him not to worry and that nothing bad will come from it. Suddenly, Laik collapses. Sena panics, not knowing what to do. As he regains consciousness, Laik thanks her sincerely for everything she has done to help him. At that moment, Kwok approaches Sena and speaks to her. He tells her that she has grown a lot and changed so much that she no longer resembles the young girl he once went to school with. Sena responds coldly, saying that she has indeed changed, and that she has learned how to deal with animals like him. Kwok smirks and says that he knows why she chose this case, that she wants revenge on him, but insists she will never succeed. Sena fires back, saying that it seems he is wasting his time on matters unrelated to the case, and that he should focus on catching the real criminal instead. She then walks away. Sena and Laik get into the car together. Suddenly, Laik asks her, "Which man do you prefer, the one who stays at home with you or the one you meet at the office?" Sena is confused and asks what he is talking about. Laik continues pressing her, asking if the man from the office is her ex. This makes Sena extremely angry. She shouts that the man is an idiot she merely went to school with and that nothing ever happened between them. As she continues shouting, they suddenly crash into an accident. Sena is involved in a very serious accident and is rushed to the hospital. After remaining in a long coma, she finally opens her eyes. When Laik sees her wake up, he is overwhelmed with joy and immediately asks about her condition. At that moment, her friend also enters the room and asks how the accident happened. Laik explains that the doctors told them Sena has a fractured arm, but thankfully there are no other serious injuries. While he is still speaking, he notices that Sena is trying to sit up despite being injured. Alarmed, Laik rushes to call the nurse and tells her that Sena has woken up. As he is speaking with the nurse, Laik suddenly notices many reporters outside the hospital room. Panicking, he hides himself and quickly slips back inside. He tells Sena that reporters are waiting outside and insists that they need to leave the hospital secretly. Sena reassures her nurse that she is fine and says she wants to leave. She also tells her friend to finish handling whatever remains. Then, quietly and carefully, Sena and Laik sneak out together. They get into a taxi, but numerous reporters chase after them, eager to spread rumors. The next day, Kwok's assistant comes to see him and reports that he has confirmed Jae-hee was present at the crime scene on the night of the murder, meaning what Haeju said was true. Kwok recalls Haeju's earlier words and immediately instructs his assistant to investigate Jae-hee thoroughly. At the same time, he orders that the investigation into Laik must continue as well. He insists that both of them be investigated equally until one of them confesses to the crime. Meanwhile, Sena and Laik are still in the taxi. Sena's arm is injured, and Laik is extremely protective of her. He tells the driver to slow down and drive carefully. When they arrive home, Laik notices that Sena is struggling to walk and tries to help her. She refuses, but Laik insists and lifts her up. She keeps resisting, telling him to put her down, saying she is heavy and that he has back pain. Laik is surprised and asks how she knows about his back condition. Sena quickly tries to cover it up, saying it is just a common pain that happens to adults. As they continue arguing, she finally sits down on a chair, but Laik begins to feel pain in his back. Sena says, "Didn't I tell you not to carry me?" He replies firmly, "Until you recover, I have to protect you." Elsewhere, Kwok's father meets with his boss, the father of Hyeju, and angrily demands to know why his daughter has been dragged into this case. Kwok's father apologizes for everything that has happened. Back at home, Laik tries to prepare things for Sena. As he looks around, he notices that every item in the house has his photo printed on it, which shocks him. Suddenly, he hears Sena scream and rushes toward the bathroom, asking if she is okay. Sena comes out and assures him she is fine. Wanting to dry her hair, Laik gently pulls her toward the balcony so she can dry it in the sunlight. As they talk, Laik tells her to avoid taking showers until she fully recovers. Sena protests, saying she will smell bad if she doesn't bathe, and that it is impossible. Laik then remembers hearing Kwok once call Sena by an insulting nickname related to smelling. He asks why she allowed that man to call her such a horrible name. Sena explains that it was just a mistaken nickname and that it does not mean she actually smells. She adds that the man who called her that is crazy. Laik becomes angry and starts insulting Kwok, saying that he is the filthy one and questioning how he could dare to insult her like that. Sena bursts into laughter, feeling happy when she sees how fiercely Laik defends her. They then sit together at the dinner table, but Sena seems distracted by the case. Laik gently tells her to try to eat and not neglect herself. They talk for a while, and Laik mentions that he noticed all the items in the house have his image on them. Sena tries to brush it off, but Laik casually says that it is normal. Many people used to buy items with his face on them. As the conversation continues, Laik says he doesn't understand why people liked him so much. Sena replies that it is because he is a good person. He compliments her in return, calling her a smart lawyer. Laik then opens up, saying that people only liked him when he was part of Gold Boys, not because of who he truly was. He admits that there was only one person who truly protected him, and that person is no longer around. He then tells Sena that she does not love him either, and that he hopes his words won't hurt her, but he believes they might. Sena doesn't know how to respond. She remains silent. Then we see Sena's friend arrive at the garage. He asks the mechanic whether Sena's car was involved in a normal accident or if someone else caused it intentionally. The mechanic explains that someone had tried to puncture the tire, but they do not know who did it. After that, Sena's friend tells Sena everything that happened. He adds that even the car's camera had been turned off recently. Sena suddenly remembers why she disabled the camera on the day she went out with Laik and her friend. Meanwhile, Laik wakes up from sleep and notices Sena and her friend talking outside. He looks clearly jealous when he sees Sena with another man, and he quietly listens to their conversation. Sena's friend tells her that he checked the parking lot cameras but found nothing. However, he still suspects that Laik might be behind everything, suggesting that Laik may have punctured the tire himself to make it look like someone was trying to kill him. Sena does not believe this accusation at all. Unbeknownst to them, Laik hears everything. Sena asks her friend if he has any real evidence. He admits that it is only his assumption that Laik might be pretending to be innocent and acting like a victim. Sena firmly rejects this theory. She reminds him that she has defended Laik many times, even when he was arrested for theft-related accusations. She says clearly that she does not believe Laik is a murderer. She also tells her friend how Laik saved her on the day of the accident. As Laik continues listening, Sena adds, "I know Laik is not a perfect person, but he is not capable of doing something like that, and I will defend him until the very end." On the other side, we see Kwak interrogating Jae-hee. Jae-hee denies being at the murder scene, but Kwak presents CCTV footage as evidence. Kwak accuses him of lying and says it is clear that Jae-hee was involved in the crime. Jae-hee becomes furious and starts shouting, angrily asking how Kwak can label him a criminal. He insists that Laik is the real killer and tells Kwak to go after him instead. Kwak responds that there is no concrete evidence proving Laik is the murderer. Jae-hee continues shouting and insisting on his innocence. A few days later, Sena has fully recovered from her arm injury. Laik continues helping her, and they appear happy together. Sena and her friend prepare to go to work. As they are leaving, Laik tries to follow them, but Sena tells him to stay home because she is going to her office. Her friend also tells Laik not to come along, saying he will continue investigating who was behind the accident. They then leave together. Elsewhere, an interview is being conducted with the girls who were obsessively devoted fans of Laik. CCTV footage is shown, and they are asked why they were at that location. At that moment, Sena and Laik enter the office. The girls try to hide themselves, but Laik remembers clearly how cruel and hateful they were, along with their parents. As the girls try to act innocent, they suddenly start insulting Laik, calling him a bad person and a murderer, hurling harsh abuse at him. Sena's friend steps in and responds firmly, saying that someone has died and the cause matters. The two girls reply that they did not kill anyone, but insist that the person died because of Laik. Sena then accuses the girls of being behind the car accident, but Laik stops her and tells her to leave them alone. After a long argument and heated confrontation, Sena and Laik step outside. Sena questions Laik about why he refused to have the girls arrested. She reminds him that when they broke into his house, he didn't even report them. She angrily asks why he keeps defending those insane girls. Laik answers calmly that if he reports them, things will only get worse. He explains that they will create even more lies about him and spread them all over the internet. He adds that those girls have no right to destroy someone's dignity, and he does not want them to harm Sena the way they once tormented him. With that, Laik walks away, leaving Sena behind. Later, Sena receives a call from her boss, and she goes to his office. Another lawyer is already there. Sena is told that she must withdraw from Laik's case. Shocked, she asks for the reason. They tell her that Jae-hee revealed many things during his interrogation. Sena is stunned. They warn her that her ship is about to sink and that she should leave the case before it completely collapses. They also tell her that this case could destroy her reputation and that it is extremely dangerous. But Sena is not a woman who backs down out of fear. She cuts them off firmly and says, "Even if the world turns upside down, I will never abandon this case. No matter what happens, I will stand for justice and defend the one who has been wronged." Angrily, she storms out of the office. Sina then enters her own office where Laik has been waiting for her. He asks why she looks upset. She tells him that both he and Jae-hee will be questioned face to face and that she suspects Jae-hee will become a false witness, possibly telling lies to those opposing her. Laik asks what Jae-hee has to do with all this. Sena then asks Laik what he thinks Jae-hee knows and what he might have told them. Laik suggests meeting Jae-hee before the interview, but Sena explains that this would be illegal and that it is already difficult enough. She tells him they must stay focused and prepare carefully for the interrogation. After that, Sena and Laik meet Bin, a member of Gold Boys. They ask him what Jae-hee said during the interview and beforehand. At first, Bin tries to deny everything. Sena calmly tells him to simply say what he knows. Bin then begins explaining that he and Jae-hee were together at the hospital that night. Jae-hee had seen many hateful comments about himself online and believed that Laik's show was harming him. Jae-hee became extremely angry over the online rumors and had always been deeply jealous of how much people loved Laik. Bin continues, saying that when he woke up later that night, he realized Jae-hee had left the hospital. When he tried calling him, Jae-hee's phone was turned off. Sena asks if he knows where Jae-hee went that night, and Bin says he does not. They then ask why he lied earlier. Bin admits that the CEO told them to say they were at the hospital. Hearing this, Laik becomes furious and abruptly leaves. Sena tells Bin that she will contact him again later, and then she leaves as well. Sena asks Laik why he got so angry. Laik explains that Jae-hee and Bin have been friends since the very beginning of the group, and he does not believe Bin is telling them the full truth. Sena asks why he and Jae-hee hate each other so much. Laik admits that he hurt Jae-hee many times in the past and often shouted at him harshly, which is how their hostility began. He tells Sena that he was young back then, immature, and that he treated people badly. Then he asks her how she can trust someone like him, someone who was so cruel. Sena looks at him and says softly, "I trust everything you say." She then shows Laik a mysterious tree in her yard. She tells him that if someone lies, the tree will shake, but if they speak the truth, it will remain still. Laik places his hand on the tree and says, "I did not kill my friend." The tree does not move at all. It remains completely still. As they continue talking, Hyejoo arrives. She scoffs and says, "So this is how you act as a lawyer?" She grabs Laik's hand, but Laik immediately pulls away. Instead, he takes Sena's hand and says, "This is the woman who has the right to hold my hand." Hyejoo is left speechless, unable to say another word. After that, Laik pulls Hyejoo aside so they can talk privately. At that moment, he tells her that he wants her to stay away from his life and that he never wants to see her face again. Hyejoo, clearly angry, asks him what kind of relationship exists between him and Sena. Laik then tells her that, at this point in time, Sena is the only person he trusts and the only one standing firmly by his side. Hyejoo leaves angrily and gets into her car. As she drives away, memories flood her mind. She remembers the time she and Laik were together and the painful moment when they broke up. On the other hand, Meong-sena and Do-Laik return home together. Laik tells Sena that he is ready to do everything required of him, including any interview, and he also tells her that he wants to stay with her until the situation is resolved, since he currently has no one else. The next morning, they arrive at the investigation and interrogation site. There, Choo Jae-hee is being questioned, as he is also suspected in the murder of Do-hyuk. Jae-hee states that on the last night, Do-hyuk came to see him at the hospital and wanted to meet Laik after leaving the hospital. At the same time, the lawyer informs Laik that Do-hyuk had used his mother's name to hide the fact that he was entering into a contract with another company and that he had intended to leave Gold Boys. After leaving the courthouse, the lawyer, Mr. Choi, tells Jae-hee that he still has another interview pending and that he is not yet free, since the real culprit has not been clearly identified. Meanwhile, Laik storms out of the courthouse, extremely furious. He immediately rushes to the place where his mother is staying, together with Sena. He finds his mother gambling, and he starts shouting at her for using his name to sign a contract with another company without his knowledge, for taking on massive debts, and for also giving an interview to lawyer Cheon. After that, Meong-sena drives Laik in her car and tells him that she is taking him somewhere special. She brings him to the top of a building, where she shows him a giant screen displaying his photo along with Gold Boys. The display was put up by his supporters. She tells him that there are still people who support him, who believe he is innocent, and who will always stand by him and applaud him. When Lake sees this, he breaks down in tears, overwhelmed with emotion. Elsewhere, at the house where the Gold Boys members live, Young Bin tells Jae-hee and the manager that he no longer wants to stay in that house after everything that has happened. He picks up his bag and leaves. Later, Like tells Sena that he wants to meet the CEO of the Gold Boys team, since he is aware of the contract issue involving his mother and matters related to the Gold Boys team. At the same time, Sena meets Hyuji. Hyuji asks Sena to work with her company's lawyer because she wants to help Like, explaining that she has loved him for 10 years. Sena, however, refuses to work with a new company, since she is already employed at one. Lake then meets with his manager and asks whether he knows anything about the new contract Jae-hee mentioned. The CEO says that he knows nothing about it, but that he will help as much as he can, although Lake must first prove that he is completely innocent. After that, Myeong-sena meets with one of the lawyers she works with. She learns that this man is someone who supported her when she was still young and had no one after her father was accused of killing someone and was sent to prison. He asks her why she wants to take over Lake's case, whether it is because it resembles her father's case or for another reason. Sena then recalls a memory of her father while he was in prison when she once asked him whether he truly killed the man or not. He replied, "If I answer you, will you believe me?" But she never answered that question. That is why she now wants to believe Like. When night falls, Lake and Sena return home together. Lake cannot sleep because Sena is still awake with the light on. Because of that, he goes to her and decides that the two of them should talk. He also wants to learn more about her life, since she knows everything about his life while he knows nothing about hers. He asks her questions, starting with her hobbies. She tells him that she doesn't have any hobbies, hiding the truth that he himself is her hobby. He asks what food she likes, and she tells him that she likes a dish called gimbap. He asks whether she likes music, and she says that she does, but this is a lie, because what she truly loves are his songs. Later, even though it is very late, he takes her out and brings her to a place where music is played. He tells her, "I'll show you why people love music." He then begins to play music and explains the melody, the rhythm, and how songs can calm people's hearts. After that, he starts singing a song he had sung long ago when she was still young, even though he himself doesn't remember it. The next morning, Sena receives a call from her friend who tells her that he has discovered something concerning Jae-hee. Sena rushes out of the house in a hurry. Lake stops her and takes the house key from her, telling her that she has made him bored at home and that he wants to go out. However, Lake goes to the supermarket and buys groceries. After that, he calls the woman who raised him and asks her how to make gimbap because he wants to prepare it for someone. Meanwhile, Myeong-sena meets the man whose company signed the contract with Lake's mother. She tells him that it is wrong to use someone's name, especially someone who knows nothing about it, to sign a contract. Lake writes down the steps for making gimbap as the woman explained to him, but he cannot find the rice. Because of that, he calls Sena's friend to ask where the rice is, and the friend tells him to search around the house. While looking for the rice, Lake opens Sena's private room. There, he sees photos from her childhood and the things she loves. As he continues looking around, he accidentally opens a box she had hidden, containing his photos and items that show her support for him and also reveal that she loves him. At that moment, Sena returns home and sees him sitting on the floor with the contents of the box scattered all around. He looks at her and says, "Explain this to me." She then tells him that it is true. She really is his fan. After that, she tries to explain everything to him, but Lake, already furious, tells her that she has betrayed him badly because she lied to him and said the only reason she defended him was that she believed he was innocent. But now it is clear that she defended him simply because she is his fan and supports him. He asks her, "If you were not my supporter, would you have defended me at all?" After that, he leaves the house and runs along the street crying, while also remembering the words she said to him the very first time they met and how she used to comfort and encourage him. On the other hand, Sena, devastated and full of regret, sits down on the floor, surrounded by the things Like had thrown to the ground. While she is sitting there, her friend Chung Jae comes to her and asks what happened. She tells him that Lake has found out everything. He says to her, "Why didn't you throw these things away long ago if you were only helping Lake as a lawyer?" She tells him that she tried to throw away everything related to Lake and even tried to burn her memories of him, but she could not. He was the first man she ever loved, and if she threw those memories away, her old happiness would never return. so she decided to put all his belongings into a box and hide them in a room. On the other side, Lake returns to his house and meets a man he used to work with who tells him that Jae-hee and Youngbin have left the house. Then the manager calls that man and tells him to find Jae-hee as quickly as possible before the police find him. The next morning, Sina receives a phone call and is told that Jae-hee is missing. She immediately rushes to the court. On the other side, Like is being interviewed by lawyer Choi, who asks him whether he knows where Jae-hee is and other related questions. While the interview is going on, Sina arrives and tries to tell the lawyer that without her knowledge, Lake cannot give an interview, but Lake rejects her interference. When they step outside, he tells her that he can no longer believe everything she says. Sena tries to explain that she only defended him as a lawyer and that it had nothing to do with being his fan or anything else. But Like tells her that her mistake was not only lying, but also making him believe her lies. He then tells her that from now on, she will no longer be his lawyer. Sena, shocked and heartbroken, remains standing there. At that moment, the opposing lawyer approaches her, mocks her, and tells her that she cannot compete with him or win the case now that she is no longer Like's lawyer. After leaving work, Sena calls Hyuji and asks to meet her. When they meet, Sena asks her to help and to become Like's lawyer. Hyuji agrees and tells her that from now on, she will take over the case and represent Like as his lawyer. On the other side, Youngbin calls Lake and tells him that Jae-hee is missing and has left the house. When Sena returns home from work, she remembers the time Like lived with her and his jokes and laughter. Then she decides once again to throw away all her memories of him. She takes the bags that contained his photos and throws them into the trash. On the other side, lawyer Cheon tells his assistants that Jae-hee's disappearance is good for their case because they can now put all the blame on Like and accuse him. Elsewhere, we see Jae-hee talking on the phone late at night. Among his words are, "I know that Do-like is not behind this. I also did not kill Youngbin and there was no problem between him and Do-hyuk. The only person left in the house was Woo Xiong. What is stopping me from telling the police everything?" The man replies to him, "Tell me where you are right now." On the other side, while Like is signing the paper that cancels the contract between him and Sena, a new lawyer comes to him and tells him that Sena gave him Like's phone number. Like tells him that he does not need his help anymore and dismisses him. Then Like steps outside and sees Hyuji waiting for him. They talk and she tells him to accept her help, even if he considers her only as a friend. But he refuses. She asks him why he is rejecting her, whether it is because he still loves Sena or for some other reason, but without answering, he leaves. The next morning, Sena, exhausted and sick, is visited by Chung Jae. He gives her medicine and tells her to rest and not go to work, but she insists on leaving because if she stays home, she will only think and talk to herself. He says to her, "Am I invisible to you when you are always thinking about Like? Can't you see how worried I am about you? I know that to you, I am only like a member of your family." She gently pulls her hand away from his and says, "I know what you're trying to say, but please don't cross the boundary of brotherhood." Then she leaves. She remembers the first time she met Chung Jae when he was sad and she gave him chocolate, the chocolate he has been addicted to ever since, always eating it whenever he feels depressed. Later, when they grow up, they meet again, she as a lawyer, and Chung Jae as a suspect in a case she is defending. Sena goes to work and stays in her office the whole day until late at night. Then a colleague comes to her and tells her that during the night when Goldie Entertainment was holding an event, he saw lawyer Hwang investigating what Jae-hee said about the changes in the Gold Boys contract. This happened shortly before the murder took place. He also says that changes were being made to the contract, and if they discovered that someone from the team was betraying them, that person would be in serious danger. He tells her that Like must know this information, even if she is no longer his lawyer, because it could help him. After that, Sena leaves work. Lake, who is standing in front of the office building, suddenly sees Sena and follows her. She sits in a cafe and tries to call Lake, but he cuts the call because he is standing nearby. She leaves, takes a taxi, and goes to the place where Lake usually plays music at night. She starts playing music and drinking. Lake continues to follow her. When she leaves the music place, she walks along the road toward her home, singing his songs. Lake keeps following her. When she enters her house, Lake turns away, but suddenly he notices the bags she threw away, containing his photos and the things related to him. He takes one of the hats from inside the trash bag. Later, when Sena comes home late, she throws herself onto the bed and falls asleep. Jae-hee calls her, but she does not answer because she is sleeping. Now we see Hugh-ji with her father. He tells her that he found out she has become Laik's lawyer and that she must leave all of this and return to the USA. She says to him, "You always criticize me for being born out of wedlock and fear that I will disgrace the family. Before, you asked me to leave Lake, and I did. Now what do you want from me?" On the other side, 2 men and a police officer standing on the road witness a car accident and begin pulling the vehicle out of a ditch. Lake spends the whole day calling Jae-hee, but Jae-hee does not answer. Then Youngbin calls Lake and tells him shocking news. The next morning, when Sena wakes up, she sees missed calls from Jae-hee. As she is about to call him back, a detective calls her and asks whether she spoke with Jae-hee, since she was the last person he called the night before. He tells her that Jae-hee had an accident. She then sees the news on TV saying that Jae-hee had an accident last night, is now unconscious, and is suspected of attempting suicide. Lake rushes to the hospital where his friend Jae-hee has been taken. Shocked and terrified, he hears the doctor explaining Jae-hee's condition to the CEO. Lake then bursts inside shouting, "What happened to my friend?" Immediately, the CEO pulls him aside, but Lake desperately wants to see his friend. The CEO tells him, "Leave this place before the reporters see you." But Lake insists on knowing the reason. Then the CEO tells him that the police found a note in which Jae-hee confessed to killing his friend. On the other side, Sena meets with the detective in charge of Jae-hee's case. She is told that Jae-hee called many people, including her and Lake, but the only person who answered was the CEO. Sena asks the detective, "How many minutes did the CEO and Jae-hee talk?" The detective replies, "They didn't talk at all. He answered the call and then hung up immediately." Sena says, "I heard Jae-hee left a note." The detective tells her that in the note, Jae-hee wrote that he killed his friend and intended to kill himself. Then the detective asks Sena, "Why did Jae-hee call you?" She replies, "I don't know, but he left me a voice message. He wanted to tell me something important." On the other side, Kwok goes to his father and tells him that he failed the case because Jae-hee has confessed to being the killer, but his father tries to calm him and advises him to stay strong and disciplined. He tells him, "I myself once faced a case like this. You must not give up quickly. Fight until the very end." After Laik is forced to leave the hospital, heartbroken and hopeless, he walks alone through the streets, remembering the last time he listened to Jae-hee's voice on the phone. Rain begins to fall as he walks in the middle of the road, not knowing where to go. It is late at night. Sena drives toward her neighborhood. When morning comes, Laik sees Sena lying beside him. He is surprised and then remembers how she rescued him from the rain. He realizes that she is a kind-hearted person. They sit together, and Laik tells her that he still believes his friend Jae-hee did not kill anyone. Sena says, "The police found a letter in which Jae-hee confessed that he committed the crime and that he is the murderer. The case is now closed." But Laik still refuses to believe it. Sena then says, "If they have found the killer and he confessed, it will be very difficult to reopen the case. Everything will collapse." On the other side, the manager of the Gold Boys asks the CEO what they plan to do about bringing Laik back, since he has now been declared innocent. But the CEO, full of arrogance, says, "This incident is actually good for Laik. He will recover his reputation because of it. Bring him to me now." The next day, Sena prepares to go to work, but Laik asks her to come with him so they can investigate Jae-hee's case together. They leave together and go to the place where Jae-hee had the accident. However, they discover that there were no CCTV cameras at the scene and that Jae-hee's car camera had been turned off on the night of the accident. They walk toward the wrecked car, and when Sena almost slips, Laik catches her. She is startled, and they both feel awkward. At that moment, we see Hugh-ji calling Lake, but he does not answer. She is filled with sadness and does not know what to do. Sena and Laik go to the hotel where Jae-hee had been staying. They meet the receptionist and ask her if she saw Jae-hee that night. The receptionist tells them that Jae-hee arrived at the hotel in a hurry and rented a room. She says, "I wanted to talk to him, but when I saw that something was wrong with his mood, I decided to leave him alone." Sena asks her many questions, such as whether Jae-hee met anyone at the hotel. The receptionist says no, that he stayed alone in his room. Then Sena asks whether the CCTV cameras recorded anything, but the receptionist tells her that the police already took all the recordings. Sena and Like leave the hotel. After that, Like takes Sena to the place where he and his friends from the Gold Boys first began their performances. He tells her their history, how they started, and all the hardships they went through. But Sena says, "I already know all of that." Then he takes her to a secret forest that belonged to the Gold Boys, called the Forest of Hope. He tells her about the hopes they wrote there when they first formed the group, and how each member wrote his own wish. He then tells her how Jae-hee used to return to this place whenever he was in trouble, just to remember the past. They see a small board on which it is written that the Gold Boys will always remain one. Finally, Sena and Like leave and find that the gate of the forest is already closed. Lake asks Sena if they can talk for a while. They walk to a quiet place inside the forest and sit down, but it is cold. Lake offers her his jacket, but Sena refuses. Then Lake says, "I saw that you threw away all my things and photos. Among them was the red cap I once gave you. That cap holds a memory for me." He begins to tell her that memory, how, when he was going through a very difficult time, a young girl came to him and he gave her that cap without knowing that the girl was Sena. Then he asks her, "What happened to you on that day?" Sena tells him that on that day her father died in prison and shortly after her mother died from shock. He says, "I'm sorry, I didn't know that the girl was you." She tells him that on that day she hated life itself, but that he became the reason her happiness returned. Lake thanks her for always believing in him and for always standing by his side. After a long time of talking and laughing together, Sena receives a call from the hotel where Jae-hee stayed. They leave and meet one of the employees who was working at the hotel that night. Sena asks the man what he saw that night. He tells them that he heard Jae-hee arguing loudly with someone on the phone and that Jae-hee kept repeating the word CEO again and again. Sena and Like are shocked. They leave the place immediately. While driving, Sena remembers what her boss once told her, that he suspected the CEO of the Gold Boys and believed that he was behind everything. Sena decides to tell Like everything, but Like cannot easily believe it. Sena says, "I myself can hardly believe it either." They go to see the CEO and ask him what he knows about why Jae-hee tried to kill himself and who was behind Woo Seong's murder. The CEO says, "Some truths are very painful. Are you ready for me to tell you what really happened?" Lake replies, "Yes, tell me everything you have been hiding. I am ready to hear it all." Then the CEO begins playing an audio recording of a conversation between himself and Woo Seong. After that, he says, "I know nothing about who killed Woo Seong." Then the CEO asks Like whether he himself killed his friend. Like becomes furious and leaves the place immediately. When Lake and Sena return home, Lake begins talking about how his friend Woo Seong was always by his side and how loyal he had been. He becomes deeply saddened, and Sena starts comforting him and lifting his spirits. On the other side, Kwok feels that he has failed the case, but then he remembers his father's words, not to give up until the very end. The next day, Like receives a call from the team's manager who persuades him to return to the group. Like looks troubled but finally says, "I will come back, but I won't be able to stay with you for long." Sena prepares to go to work and says goodbye to Like. She tells him that if he feels lonely at home, he can go outside for a walk, but he replies, "It's okay, I can stay here." Then she leaves. While Like is alone at home, Hugh Ji sends him a message saying that she wants to see him one last time. They meet, and she tells him that she is returning to America. She shows him a photo of the two of them and talks about how happy they used to be together. She also shows him a plane ticket and says, "Come with me, let's go back to our old life and our old happiness." But Lake refuses and says, "I want to continue my life here." Then they say goodbye to each other. That evening, Sena returns home carrying the chicken that Lake loves. Soon her friend arrives, and the three of them eat dinner together, talking happily. After dinner, Lake starts washing the dishes and says, "It has been a long time since I was this happy. It was a really beautiful time." Sena asks him, "If you were an ordinary person, what would you do?" Lake then takes Sena to the school he attended when he was young. He tells her that those were the happiest days of his life. He shows her the classroom where he used to study and tells her many stories. He also takes her to the school cafeteria where he used to eat and talks about the food he loved. They order and eat together. Then, Sena takes him to a place she loved in her childhood. They watch the fish swimming in the water and laugh together. She tells him how she used to come here and spend hours when she was young. They suddenly notice a little girl watching them from above, and they hide playfully. Then they begin looking deeply into each other's eyes. After that, they go to the very first place where they met. Lake tells her how meaningful it is for him to be spending time with her there now. He says, "If you had not been by my side during my hardest times, I would not be this happy today. When I am with you, I feel like I am a valuable person." They continue walking in the fresh air, enjoying the moment. As they walk back, he says, "It was a beautiful day." Sena replies, "I enjoyed it too. I love the time we spend together. I love seeing your happiness." Then Sena prepares to leave. Lake suddenly says, "I love you." She is shocked. He says again, "I know this may sound surprising, but I can't hide it anymore. I love you." He steps closer and says loudly and clearly, "I love you, Sena." Lake officially confesses his love to Sena and tells her that he can no longer hide the feelings he has for her. Sena becomes flustered and confused, not knowing what to say because it all came so suddenly. Lake tells her that he is not asking her to answer him right now and that he is willing to wait until she herself comes to love him. They return home, and both of them spend the entire night unable to sleep, each thinking about the other. Later, we see someone standing in front of Sena's house late at night and then leaving quietly. The next morning, when Sena wakes up, she finds a letter that Lake left for her. In the letter, he tells her that he is leaving the house. He thanks her for always standing by his side and supporting him, and says that his love for her has not changed at all. He explains that he only wants to face life on his own now and not cause her any trouble. When Sena goes to work, she keeps remembering the words Lake said to her. She still cannot believe that Lake truly loves her, and she begins talking to herself, thinking that Lake may have misunderstood his own feelings. On the other side, Lake returns to his old life and his own home. He is then told that Jae-hee has been transferred to the ICU and is still unconscious. Lake goes to the hospital to visit Jae-hee and plays a song that Jae-hee used to love. Meanwhile, lawyer Chung brings documents to his father stating that Lake is involved in the murder and in the accidents involving Do-hyung and Jae-hee. He tells him that he will submit the case to court and that he himself will take responsibility for this case. On the other side, while Sena is at home, she finds the cap that Lake left behind. She decides to return it to him, even though she hesitates and does not really want to stand in front of him again. As she is getting ready to leave, Chung-jae suddenly comes to her and asks where she is going dressed like that. He offers to deliver the cap to Lake himself, but she refuses and says, "It's okay, I'll take it to him myself." On the other side, Lake wants to check on Sena, even though he promised himself not to meet her until she gives him an answer. Still, he secretly comes to her house. When he sees Sena coming out, he hides behind his car. Sena is surprised by the strange car parked there and looks at its license plate. When she looks inside, she sees Lake. She asks him what he is doing there, but he pretends not to know anything and instead asks her where she is going at this hour. She tells him that she wanted to return his cap, and also that she liked the weather and wanted to get some fresh air. She hands him the cap and then turns to leave. Then she comes back and asks him if he is still waiting for her answer. Without giving him any answer, she walks away, because she is too nervous and confused. They part ways like that, both feeling strangely happy. Lake gets into his car and leaves, while Sena goes back inside her house. At the law firm, Sena's co-workers begin gossiping that lately she has been leaving work late and making mistakes she never used to make. Later, when Sena arrives at work, her colleague Ye-sol tells her that rumors are spreading on social media, saying that she and Do-lake were living together and had a secret relationship. At the same time, Lake's manager calls him and asks whether the rumors are true, that he and Sena lived together. Lake then calls Sena and asks her if she has seen what is spreading on social media. After that, Sena calls her friend Chung-jae and asks him to help Lake and protect him from going outside because now his fans and the media are closely watching him. On the other side, more rumors about Sena begin to spread. People say that she was Lake's lawyer, that they lived together, that she is the daughter of a murderer, and that now she is defending another murderer. Sena meets with her boss, who tells her that he is very unhappy to see people spreading such terrible rumors about her. She explains to him that the reason she stayed with Do-lake was because his music always helped her whenever she felt sadness and loneliness after her father's death, and also because she had supported him for a long time. On the other side, Lake wants to go to Sena, but his manager stops him and tells him not to go there because the place is crowded with reporters and angry fans. Lake insists that he only wants to help Sena since she is suffering because of him. Angry fans and journalists flood the area where Sena works, demanding that she come outside. Sena's co-workers become angry with her and tell her that all of this trouble is because of her. But Sena says she will go outside and face the people and speak to the press. The reporters ask her whether it is true that she lived with Do Lake. She answers that it was her responsibility as his lawyer and that it was her duty to defend her client. They then ask her whether she has a romantic relationship with Lake. Before she can answer, someone suddenly shouts, "She is the daughter of a murderer." People begin throwing objects at her. At that moment, Do Lake arrives and blocks a stone that was thrown at her. He then takes her away from the scene. Sena shouts at Lake and asks him why he came there. He replies that he had to protect her because she had always protected him. He drives her away and takes her to a quiet, remote place, a small hotel in the countryside. They rent a room and rest there, wanting to hide from the public. They eat together, and Lake thanks Sena for everything she has done for him. He apologizes that all this trouble came to her because of him, and that people learned about her father's past because of him. Sena then tells Lake about the suffering she went through when her father was accused of being a murderer and later died in prison. She begins to cry, and Lake holds her tightly in his arms. Night falls. Lake falls asleep on the couch. Sena comes and sits beside him, watching him while remembering how he protected her and the moment he confessed his love. Lake wakes up and sees her sitting next to him. They slowly lean toward each other and kiss. The next morning, Lake makes coffee for Sena. They talk for a while, and then Sena finally tells him that she loves him too. Then Sena receives a call from her boss, who tells her that lawyer Kwok has filed a lawsuit against Do Lake and is taking advantage of the situation, especially the scandal spreading on social media. Sena and Lake rush back to the city and to the court. They begin working together on the case until late at night. Later, Sena asks Lake where he was on the night he was being interviewed and when he left her house. He tells her that he followed her that night. He says he followed her after she left work, saw her drinking alcohol, and heard her singing on the street. Sena becomes angry because he mentioned all of this in court when they asked him where he was that night. Lake tells her that he followed her only because he missed her that night. He asks whether she missed him too while she was drinking and walking alone. She tells him that she was thinking about him the entire night. They continue reviewing the files, and Sena shows him photos of the items the police took from his house. Among them is a diamond stone. On the other side, Jae-hee, who has been in the hospital, finally wakes up from his coma. Immediately, Lake rushes home, opens his safe, and takes out earrings that look exactly like the ones the police took from his house. Then Lake tells Sena that he has finally realized who came to his house on the night the murder happened. After that, Lake receives a call from Young Bin, who tells him that Jae-hee has regained consciousness. Sena and Lake immediately head to the hospital. Jae-hee, still not fully aware of what is going on, asks Lake why he is there, and also asks, "Where is Hyeju?" The doctor then tells Lake that the patient needs to rest and asks them to step outside. Once they are outside, Sena and Lake start wondering why Jae-hee specifically asked about Hyeju and mentioned her name. They get into the car, and Lake explains to Sena that the necklace he had shown her earlier was actually a pair. One piece belonged to him and the other to Hyoji. Hyoji had given it to him as a gift back when they were in a relationship, and after they broke up, he locked his own piece away in a box. Sena says, "If Hyoji was really the person who entered the house that night, then we must report this to the police." Lake agrees, especially since it has taken them so long to uncover the truth. He then drops Sena off at her house and they say goodbye. Later, while Sena is drinking coffee, Chung Jae calls her and says, "Are you still awake? Come downstairs. I want to show you something." He explains that they checked the neighbors' CCTV cameras because some people reported hearing noises that night. He then shows her a video recorded by a CCTV camera. The footage shows a person walking through the garden of the house late at night during heavy rain, without even carrying an umbrella. Chung Jae says, "This person looks like they're about 160 centimeters tall or shorter, and their build is quite small. Even if it's a man, he would be a small-framed one." Sena replies, "It could be a woman. Hyoji was at Lake's house that night." She adds, "When Jae-hee first woke up from the coma, the very first name he mentioned was Hyeju." Chung Jae hands Sena a flash drive containing the CCTV videos and asks her and her investigation team to continue analyzing them. Sena later goes to the prosecutor's office and gives the flash drive to a detective. The detective tells her that he himself finds it suspicious that Jae-hee mentioned Hyo-ji. However, Prosecutor Kwak is still fixated on Like and continues accusing him. Even if Hyo-ji was behind Jae-hee's accident, that does not automatically mean she killed Do-yok, and Do-yok's case still stands. Meanwhile, Prosecutor Kwak visits Jae-hee in the hospital and conducts an interview. Jae-hee says he does not remember everything clearly, but on the night of the accident, after talking on the phone, he got into his car because Hyo-ji was the one who had called him and arranged to meet. When he arrived at the meeting place and spoke with her, she asked him about Do-yok's death. He told her that all the lawyers were now suspecting him of being the murderer. She told him, "That's normal. They misunderstood because you went to Do-yok's house that night." Jae-hee replied, "How do you know that I went to Do-yok's house that night?" She answered, "I found out from the news. Where else would I hear it from? Anyway, you look like you need to eat. Let's have a meal together. You go ahead. I'll follow." Jae-hee agrees, although he feels that something is not right. Jae-hee also tells Prosecutor Kwak that on the night Do-yok died, Do-yok told him he was going to meet Lake. That's why Jae-hee waited for him at the hospital so he could call him. When Do-yok didn't call back, Jae-hee went to Lake's house without telling anyone. However, he is confused about how Hyo-ji knew all of this. He also explains that when he met Hye-ju that night and began to feel suspicious, he got into his car and tried to call for help. But Hye-ju knocked on the car window and said, "Aren't you getting out?" After that, he says he became disoriented and does not remember what happened next. He only wonders why Hye-ju suddenly insisted on meeting him that night and why he is now lying in a hospital bed. Jae-hee tells the prosecutor, "I'm telling you all of this because there is an unknown truth behind everything. I also want to make it clear that I did not write any farewell message saying I was going to kill myself and I never intended to commit suicide. Please investigate the truth properly and do not turn innocent people into criminals." Meanwhile, as Sena continues investigating the case, Lake calls her and tells her that he is at the hospital but is not allowed to see Jae-hee. He also says, "If Hyo-ji is involved in Jae-hee's accident, we must inform the prosecutor, especially since she said she's leaving the country soon." Young Bin then comes to see Lake and tells him that Jae-hee is safe but is being questioned. Lake begins apologizing to Young Bin, admitting that he failed to understand what Young Bin, Jae-hee, and Do-yok had been suffering from. Young Bin tells Lake, "Jae-hee used to record everything on his phone. Let's check his phone. He might have recorded something that night." While sitting in his office, Prosecutor Kwak recalls Jae-hee's words, "Mr. Prosecutor, I've told you everything. Please investigate Hye-ju." Later, Mang Sena goes to see Prosecutor Kwak and brings him the evidence, necklaces and audio recordings. She says, "I know you met Jae-hee, and he told you that the last person he met was Hyo-ji. But you are deliberately ignoring the truth and trying to cover it up. Please stop hiding the truth. Otherwise, an innocent person will be forced to live their entire life as a criminal. Mr. Kwak, can you live the rest of your life knowing you accused an innocent person?" She continues, "Hyo-ji is leaving the country soon and we don't have much time. Don't repeat the same mistake your father once made." She then hands him the case file and walks away. Late at night, while Lake is at home thinking deeply about the case, he receives a message from Hyo-ji that reads, "I'm leaving now, goodbye." At the same time, Prosecutor Kwak begins rethinking the case from the beginning. He recalls words his father once told him and memories of complicated cases he handled in the past, especially one where he wrongly accused an innocent person who later ended his own life by drinking poison. Kwak then remembers Sena's warning, "Don't repeat the same mistake your father made." After a long pause, he picks up the phone and calls the detective. Meanwhile, Lake calls Hyo-ji and asks, "I saw your message. Are you flying out today?" She answers yes. Lake then says, "There's one thing I need you to answer honestly. On the night Do-yok died, did you come to my house?" She replies, "No, I didn't. Don't believe everything people say." Just as she is about to board the plane, the police arrive and stop her. Later, while Lake is still thinking about Hyo-ji, Sena comes to see him. Lake tells her that Do-yok recorded everything. He tries to open Do-yok's laptop, but he doesn't know the password. Meanwhile, Hyo-ji is taken to the police station where Prosecutor Kwak interrogates her. He asks, "On the night of the murder, did you go to Lake's house?" She answers, "No, I didn't." Kwak responds, "Your answer doesn't mean much anymore. Jae-hee has woken up and told us that you were the one who arranged to meet him on the night of the accident." He then shows her the evidence Sena provided, including the earrings that belonged to her. She tries to deny everything, saying, "I returned those earrings to Lake that night because we had already fallen out. I didn't commit the crime. Even you wouldn't want to be falsely accused, right?" At that moment, Kwak's father storms in, shouting and ordering him to release Hyoji immediately, but Kwak refuses, saying he can no longer ignore the truth, even if it means standing alone. He tells his father, "This will be the first time in my life that I stand against you. You follow your path, and I'll follow mine." The next day, Sena goes to the office and begins searching for Duyok's password. She meets one of his supporters, who also happens to be her friend. He explains that all of Duyok's secrets are recorded on tapes and that he hid clues inside his music and albums. Sena shows him the messages she found hidden inside one of the albums. They begin listening carefully to his songs, taking the first letter of each message. Slowly, the names of the albums appear. When they reach the final album, Lake suddenly recognizes the name. They enter it as the password, and it works. The computer unlocks. They listen to the audio recordings saved on the laptop, including the recording from the night of the murder. In the recording, Duyok is on the phone when Hyoji knocks on the door. He asks her why she's there. She replies that she's on her way to meet Lake. Duyok tells her Lake is scared right now and already asleep. When he tries to stop her from entering, she slaps him. He says, "Do you know how many times you've hurt Lake and how much he suffered because of you? Even though he loved you, you kept demanding more love because you were never raised with love yourself. I'm telling you now, Lake doesn't love you anymore. He's done with you. End it." Those words enrage her. She shouts, "If my relationship with Lake is over, then your life ends here too." She grabs a knife. Duyok tries to stop her, but the knife falls and plunges into his stomach. She begins to cry. After a while, she wipes the blood from the floor and washes the blood off herself, but she realizes she has lost the earrings Lake once gave her. While searching for them, she notices Duyok's phone recording audio. She grabs it. At that moment, someone knocks on the door. She quickly flees the house. Outside, Duyok's phone rings. It's Jae-hee calling, looking for him. She immediately turns the phone off. When Lake and Sena finish listening to the recording, Lake breaks down, shaking with rage. Sena asks him, "If we release this audio, the truth about your past relationship with Hyoji will become public. Are you ready for that?" Lake answers, "I'm not ready, but I'll face the truth so Duyok can get justice." Hyoji is then formally arrested. Prosecutor Kwak meets Sena and thanks her. He tells her that Hyoji tried to frame Lake for the crime. He also thanks Sena for pushing him not to ignore the truth and sincerely apologizes. Then he leaves. Lake and Sena visit Duyok's grave and place flowers there. Later, Lake visits Hyoji in prison and asks her why she did all of this. She tells him that everything is his fault. She says, "After we broke up, I didn't go to the US. I was hospitalized in a psychiatric ward. You continued your life happily, while I lived on medication. Now, I want you to never forget me, to think about me every night and hate me." Lake responds calmly, "I won't waste my time hating you. I came here to tell you that you're wrong. True love means always wishing happiness for the person you love." 1 year later, Sena is watching Entity musical artist Gold Boys K-pop band on TV as they announce their world music tour. They are currently in New York. Laik is asked to send a message to the fans, and he begins speaking. "Thank you so much for always supporting us. Please stay healthy. We love you." When Sena hears his voice, she becomes genuinely happy. Later, we see Sena having dinner with her friend. They are enjoying a beautiful, relaxed atmosphere. He congratulates her for reopening her father's case. She then asks him, "What about you? How is your life?" He tells her that he has found a new job and moved into a new house, and he thanks her for always standing by his side. Sena responds, "You've always been like a friend and a brother to me. Thank you for supporting me." The next day, Sena visits her boss. He hands her all the files related to her father's case and says, "I've helped raise you since you were young, and I always knew this day would come, the day you'd fight for your father's justice." Sena thanks him for always helping her and believing in her. He replies, "I'll always be by your side. Whenever you need me, you can call me." After that, Sena goes to see her co-workers and says goodbye to all of them. She then returns to her office and packs up her belongings. One of her co-workers approaches her, and they chat briefly. Sena then says, "There's something I've kept hidden. I want to tell you." She confesses that she was a supporter of Laik. The other woman is shocked and says, "Me too, I'm also a fan of Gold Boys." She adds, "So that's why they came back." The two of them laugh happily together. Sina then gathers everything related to her father's case and begins interviewing people who were present back when her father was accused. That night, exhausted, she returns home and watches a Gold Boys show on her phone. She feels overwhelming happiness as she watches Laik enjoying a beautiful moment on stage. The next day, she submits a request to officially reopen her father's case, and fortunately, it is approved. She returns home, listens to a song sung by Laik, and softly says, "Laik, I really miss you." We then see Hyaju at the courthouse, but she still hasn't spoken. She is sent to a psychiatric hospital. Meanwhile, Sena prepares herself for court. She raises her hand to the miraculous tree, believing with all her heart that she will succeed. The day of the trial arrives, and the hearing begins. Sena stands up and declares that her father was falsely accused, that his life was destroyed, and that he was a good, honest man. She says that some lawyers only care about money, and adds, "I want my father to receive justice, even if he is no longer alive." After the hearing ends, Sena steps outside and sees many reporters waiting. They ask her how she feels about her father's case. She replies, "This is a very important day for me, and I hope to win. No matter how long it takes, the truth always comes out." As she is speaking, Laik suddenly appears, holding a beautiful bouquet of flowers. Sena is overjoyed. They walk together, holding hands, filled with happiness. However, Sena is surprised that he has returned. Laik smiles and says, "I missed you so much." He asks if she missed him too, and she tells him that she missed him deeply. As they walk away, a reporter secretly tries to take photos, but some overexcited fans block the camera and stop him. Laik then takes Sena to the place where memories of her mother and father remain. She is surprised and asks how he knew. He replies, "Your friend told me." Laik speaks to the photos of her parents and introduces himself, saying, "My name is Laik. Thank you for raising such a beautiful and intelligent daughter. You were wonderful parents." He then turns to Sena and says, "I will always be by your side." He hugs her. After that, he walks her home. They say goodbye, but Sena tells him, "Stay the night." He agrees. The next morning, Sena is busy shopping online. Laik tells her he'll pay for everything, but she refuses. Then he surprises her with tickets so she can attend a Gold Boys show. She can hardly believe it. Her happiness is overwhelming. The next day, Laik goes to visit the woman who used to cook for him and asks her to help prepare the food that Sena loves. He then gives her a ticket so she can attend the show, but she tells him she doesn't have time. She says, "Just sell the ticket." Laik shouts in protest, and after that she finally says, "All right, I'll come." After finishing the food, Laik goes to Sena's place and sends her a message saying, "I'm outside your house, come out." Sena comes outside, extremely happy. She starts taking pictures and says, "It's beautiful." Laik then asks her to go out with him, but she replies, "I already have other plans today. I'm sorry." Later, Laik visits the new office of Sena's friend and congratulates him on officially becoming a full detective. They chat for a while, but Sena's friend starts eating the food a little too enthusiastically. Laik quickly stops him and says, "Hey, this food is for Sena. Stop." The friend is surprised and says, "I never imagined you'd come back just to cook for Sena." Laik replies, "It's normal. For Sena, I can do anything, and thank you for protecting her." The friend answers, "That was my duty." Sena then arrives, and the three of them eat together. Meanwhile, Gold Boys go to place flowers on the grave of their late friend. They tell him how much they miss him and how they wish he were still with them. Their CEO arrives as well, holding flowers. Laik and the CEO begin talking about everything they've been through. The CEO says, "Without you, this name wouldn't exist." Laik thanks the CEO for supporting him when he was young. The CEO then advises Laik to forgive his mother, saying, "She was also part of your growth." On the other side, Laik's mother visits Sena's friend and brings him a gift. He's surprised. She tells him to open it, but he refuses at first. She places it in his hand and says, "I've delivered the message." After she leaves, he opens it. It's a ticket to the Gold Boys show. Meanwhile, Sena is testing her gift cards online, hoping to win something. Luckily, she wins. An online friend she met sends her a message saying, "Let's go to the show together." They manage to secure 2 tickets. Sena is incredibly happy and can't wait for the show. When she gets home, the items she ordered online arrive. As she opens them, her happiness grows even more. She puts on her clothes and bag excitedly, then rushes out to meet her online friend so they can go to the show together. But when they meet, it turns out to be the co-worker she used to work with. Sena is shocked. Both of them stare at each other in disbelief. Without knowing it, they were both crazy fans of Gold Boys. They laugh, excited, eagerly waiting for the show to begin. Meanwhile, Gold Boys are preparing for what they call the show of the century. They make sure everything is perfect before going on stage. Then they place their hands together, a sign that they are ready. Finally, the long-awaited day arrives. A huge day, the day Gold Boys make their legendary comeback. A massive crowd fills the venue and the show begins. Fans raise their banners high. Sena's face glows with joy as she screams with excitement. La-ik begins singing with a beautiful voice. The fans are overjoyed, lifting their banners and singing along passionately. Sena can't believe what her eyes are seeing. She feels like she's dreaming. The show continues, and La-ik watches Sena from the stage. When the show ends, Sena and La-ik reunite like that, 2 hearts finally together. Their love victorious, they move forward into a beautiful life side by side.